Hi everybody and welcome back to Apple Cottage. This is Sandy and it's gardening together this morning. And so a lot of you know that I do a lot of things with herbs. Teas and concoctions and tinctures and lotions and just all kinds of stuff. So I thought I'd share some of my herb cabinets. Now this is probably my largest one. And it has all the different herbs and a lot of times if I'm going to take them orally, I make little pills out of them. And so then I just store them in baggies. Like this is ginkgo leaf. And I'll put that right up there so you can see it. And on the bag, I will tell you what it's good for. So if I'm not home and Joe's looking for something, he'll know exactly what he needs to be doing. And it just tells you all the different benefits of ginkgo leaf. And so that's just an easy way for me to prepare them so that in any situation I have them ready. Now a lot of times I make teas out of the different herbs that I have. And then they're just a combination. But this is a perfect time of the year for you to stop and think, okay, what can I plant this spring that later on I can dry them so that I can use them all year round. Now some of these I can't grow it in Wyoming, and that's just the way it is. And so then I purchase them. There's a couple different companies that I purchase through most of the time. Every once in a while it's a different company. But I really like Bulk Herb Store. And I have bought from them for a long, long time, and now Baker Seeds owns them. And so that is very cool to me. And then there's also Mountain Rose Herbs. And I have just been really happy with the herbs that I've gotten from them too. Now, a lot of the herbs that I grow are specific for certain things. Like one of the funnest things to grow is called a toothache plant. And it makes this small closed flower that looks like basically the tip of your thumb. And some of them are just yellow, and some of them are yellow with reds or oranges. And what it does is if you chew on it, it literally makes your mouth numb. And so I'm always trying to trick people into trying to chew on one of them. The leaves even will make it your mouth tingly. So a lot of times chefs will take the young leaves and they'll add them to their salads just for a little zing in their salads, which is really cool. But it's very good at relieving pain. So sometimes I make a salve that people use on arthritis, and it will give that relief for a little bit. But I also have it in a tincture form. So this is what I made last year. Isn't it a beautiful color? And sometimes when Joe has sore muscles because he does jujitsu, and he's a brown belt. He's just about to become a black belt, and which I just find so fun and wonderful that it doesn't matter what age you are. If you want something, you can go for it. Anyway, sometimes he gets sore muscles from when he's gone to class and they've been really strenuous that day. And he can literally just take that and rub it on his muscles, and it gives him a lot of relief. But I just love this color. I'm sitting on my counter. But I have all kinds of stuff in my herb cupboard. And from bee pollen that I've saved, propolis from my bees, and just so many different herbs. Now, when you look at that cupboard, you're going, how do you keep track of that? Well, I made color-coded charts that are alphabetical. And so the different colors are the different shelves. And so I can look at alphabetically ordered, find something, say I'm looking for raspberry leaves. Because do you know you can save your raspberry leaves? And not just to make tea, I do all kinds of stuff with raspberry leaves. And so I'll look at raspberry leaves. It's red, so it's on that shelf, and I have a pint and I have a quart. So that just gives me a way to keep track. So if I get out of that, then I know that I need to harvest some of my raspberry leaves this year. And it's just an easy way for me to keep track. You know, whatever system you have. Then I have a chalkboard over here. And so when I'm out of something or almost out of something, I write it over here. Like my mullein leaf is almost gone. And so this year, when my mullein comes up, I will have to harvest some of that. And it's just an easy way for me to keep track. Then over on this side, I have some little sheets that I've printed off, and I laminated it, put little holes through it so I can hang it. Like this tells me how to make a tooth powder with myrrh and cinnamon. So good. This one is a list of spices, what I can use them in cooking and how I can use them as medical. But just different things that I've come across that I just thought, oh yeah, that's just something to keep. And I also have a whole bunch of notebooks in here that have my recipes and little hints and tricks and things that, so if there's a certain situation, I can go, okay, let me look that up and I'll know what to do. So this is just one of my cupboards. I'm going to stop the video and we're going to go to another cupboard. So here's another cupboard of mine that's just jam-packed. But this is a cupboard, this is a special cupboard to me because this is where I keep all my stuff for Essiac tea. And if you don't know what Essiac tea, it's a cancer tea. And so I always keep those separated, and I use actually 9 different ingredients because I actually add licorice root in there too, which in Chinese medicine is really enhances all the other herbs. And if you're wondering why I'm so tall, I'm standing on a stool because otherwise I'm too short for you to see in this cupboard and see me. But there's just lots of other things in here too, but that's a special cupboard for me. So this is my last cupboard in my kitchen. And this is a cupboard that I have all my essential oils. I have my tinctures. I do have some salves in there, but I keep my extra beeswax and stuff like that that I might use in different projects. So like this one is a chamomile tincture. So I always write when I made it, what proof it is, that's the alcohol content of it. And I try to list a couple things that it's good for. Like chamomile tea is good for relaxing somebody so they can go to sleep, a sedative. It's good for your stomach, things like that. And so I just try to write that on the tag, so just as a quick note. Though it really works on a lot of other things, or I can add it to other things, but those are just some main things that I have. And so that's my herbs that I have right now. And I think it's very important that in any given situation that you can use natural products. And so that's why I love herbs so much. I've taken lots of classes online on herbs, and my library downstairs has huge sections on herbs, growing them, using them. And so it's just something that I'm very interested in and I really like. So it's springtime, and it's a perfect time to either order herb seeds, start to grow them, being able to plant them out. If you're not going to start them yourselves, a lot of times you can get a selection at nurseries. Not a huge selection, but at least some things. And some really easy, good things to grow. Peppermint, raspberry, so you can have the leaves. Strawberry leaves are very effective. And in fact, on Thursday, on the other Gardening Together, I'm going to talk about teas that you can do by things that you grow in your yard. And a lot of them are fruits like raspberries, strawberries, but even stinging nettles, which a lot of people are they hate. They have such good medical properties. So I'm going to talk about teas. And so I think that can be a very interesting topic. So this is Sandy at Apple Cottage. And I hope you enjoyed my little tour of my herbs. Sometimes Joe calls me a witch doctor. What are you concocting today? But I just love herbs, and I love that the side effects are so much less or none compared to pharmaceuticals. So those are choices that I make, and I would encourage you to make that choice too. So this is Sandy at Apple Cottage, and I will see you Thursday when we're going to talk about herb teas, and I'll show you some of my secret teas.